Good morning, everyone. How are you this morning? It's Make a Card Monday, May the 11th. And today I'm working with the paper pumpkin, April's paper pumpkin. Mine's a little bit late this month. We're into May already, but I am using April's. And I have a great card for you today. So my name is Debbie Scott. I'm your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Brigden, Ontario. And I'm just going to bring it up on my iPad here, make sure everything looks good. There we go. Alrighty, so if you're hopping on with me, either live or watching the replay, please feel free to say hi and let me know where you're watching from. So yeah, I am using the paper pumpkin, April's paper pumpkin, Lakeside Retreat, and this one coordinates with one of the suites in our new catalog, which, where did I put that? Here it is. It coordinates with the Waterside Retreat. I thought it would tell me what page it was on there. Let me just do a quick little flip through here. Oh, this will tell me. Oh. Page 20. So there it shows everything there. It's got some 12 by 12 DSP. It's got some little trinkets, and it has a great stamp and die set. We're going to use one of the dies today with ours. And the other thing I am doing is I am creating my project for the Global Design Project Challenge. And their theme for this week is using landscapes. That's the word I was looking for, landscapes. And we have some great product that's available for doing landscapes right now. Of course, we have this one, the Waterside Retreat, and also the Scenic Coast would be great for that as well. You probably could do a great landscape with the Moonlit Flora as well. So that is in our new catalog, which is good until August. And I'll just give you a quick little look-see at the Waterside 12 by 12. So they have some great cut-apart pieces here that would work great for this theme. And then we have some blue stripe and some fish. You can get 2 each. Some water. Waves there. Look at that cute bicycle. Isn't that just a great sheet? We have some birds, the seagulls. I like that one too. And a great plaid. All the life preservers. And then a great wood grain on the back. Life preservers and paddles. And a nice stripe there on the back too. So that is part of the Waterside Suite. And then it does have those little embellishments, little trinkets. Hopefully you can see that there. And then it's got the stamp set and dies to coordinate as well. And as I mentioned, we're going to use the chair die today. And then this is the paper pumpkin. So if you're unfamiliar with paper pumpkin, I'll go through that quickly. It is a subscription-based kit that comes to your door. It's mailed to you once a month. You get a little sneak peek. So we knew that this month, April's, was going to coordinate with the suite from the catalog. And you can sign up for either 1 month, 3, 6, or 12 months. If you happen to see a sneak peek, you've signed up for 12 months, but you see a sneak peek and you're like, oh, I don't really like that. It's not really my jam. You can pause your subscription as well. So you don't necessarily have to get 12 in a row. It's got these great color instructions for each of the 3 cards. Normally, we make 3 cards, 3 each. Comes with a stamp set. We're going to use that today. It comes with an ink spot. This was a new one, Peaceful Pine, in this month's. We get adhesive, any adhesive that you need. So this one came with the tear and tape and dimensionals. And then sometimes you get embellishments, sometimes you get twine. We've got all the card bases that are needed for our cards. We also get envelopes. So we've got 9 envelopes there that coordinate. And then all the little punch-out pieces. These are all of our label pieces. And then we've got all our great little punch-out pieces. We are going to use one of these circles today, but I've already got it punched out. So I'm just going to set that aside and we'll go ahead and get started. I am using a plain white card base. So I have pulled in some thick basic white. I'm just going to use my bone folder and give that a good burnish. We are using Peaceful Pine, but I'm just going to use my full sheet, or my full ink pad, pardon me. Okay, so then I'm pulling in, this was one of the card bases, and I've just cut it in half. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off of the long side. And I'm not going to throw that out. It is a scrap, but I'm going to save it and we're going to add it to the inside of our card. So then we want to cut this into 4 equal pieces. So this is 5 1/2. So we will cut that at 5 1/2. That'll be 2 3/4. Pretty sure that is correct. I just want to double check because I don't want to mess it up. Okay, so we have 2 3/4, and then we have to cut that in half. So 2 1/2 would be 1 3/4. So no. There we go. 1 3/8. And then same with this piece. 1 3/8. You could just add that piece on whole. That's going to serve as our layer here. I'm going to put it on like this, just to add a little interest to the background of our card. I did get this idea from one of the ladies in the Paper Pumpkin Creatives. I don't remember off the top of my head which creator it was from, but that is where this idea has come from. It's not exactly the same. I did change it up a little bit, but the background is the same, I will say that. The Paper Pumpkin Creatives, that is a group of ladies that I'm included with. It's Rachel Tessman's group, design team group, and we make alternative projects using the Paper Pumpkin every month. So you get a tutorial of at least 12 different tutorials using the Paper Pumpkin in alternative ways. So making alternate projects using the Paper Pumpkin. So you can get that by subscribing for Paper Pumpkin through me or one of the other ladies as well. If you're from the States, there's Americans on the team as well. Or you can purchase the tutorial from me for $15 US. So if you already have, obviously, April's Paper Pumpkin, but you would like to see those tutorials, then you can purchase that through myself or one of the other ladies. Or if you want to get it for free for May's, well, actually, we're a little bit too late for May, I think. Where's today the last day? I think you signed up by the 10th. I think it was yesterday. All we go. So then we are going to add, as I mentioned, our little circle here. I'm just going to trim off. Sometimes when you punch out these pieces, it leaves little tabs. They don't look too bad actually on this piece, but I like to give them a little trim. And that's going to go there. And before I put that down, I'm going to work on my chair. That's kind of bright there, isn't it, from the glare from my lamp. Okay, so when you cut out this piece here, this little wood grain piece is separate. And that is a piece to layer on top right here. It gives you a little square piece that pops out. I used that little scrap to cut out my little armrests. I wasn't sure actually what these were. That's this die right here. And so I looked through just some projects online and then I found them. They are the armrests to go on here. Very cute. Okay, so I need a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending. And I'm going to use pecan pie. I've cut this all out in crumb cake. I'm just going to add a little bit of dimension to our chair using my ink. Just have to be very careful with this one because all those little pieces are separate. So hold them all down and then go over with your blending brush. The bottom little piece here, that's just an extra tab to help you adhere your pieces together. So that's not going to show. I'm going to do some at the bottom here, so we have a little darker at the bottom. I'm going to add some here. There we go. And then this little piece, because I've added some on here, I don't know, maybe I should just leave it so it kind of sticks out a little bit more. I don't know. I think I'm going to add a little bit of color to it. Now it looks pretty light compared to everything else. And I'm going to add a little bit of ink blending to my armrest here. And the same with this one. There we go. I'm just going to add some multi-purpose glue to the back of these pieces. I said that one layers on top here, just to add a bit of dimension. You could add that with dimensionals too, actually. That would probably look very nice. But I already have my glue on there, so. Then we have our little armrests here. And they're going to go there. And our second one. Now that you see them on there, you're like, oh yeah, that's exactly what those are for. That's so obvious. But when you're looking at that little die, it's kind of hard to envision what they are for sometimes. All right, so then we are going to tuck this underneath. Try not to get glue on the front. I'm just going to hold that for a second. And I'm just going to lay this down. I don't have my silicone mat right here handy. And we are going to add a little bit of glue to the back of each one of these, just one little dab. Oh, I've got too much there already. There we go. I'm just getting some of the extra off because I always add too much. And that is going to go right beside here. I'm just going to get some extra little bits. It does dry clear, so it's not a huge deal, but you can get some of that extra off. So that's going to layer like that. So we have a nice cabin there and a lake. Okay. So we're going to let that sit for a moment. And we're going to do a little bit of stamping. I am using the stamp set that came with the kit, and there's some great sentiments in this one. Thanks, happy birthday, happy Father's Day, older, wiser, better. You are a lifesaver. You are an inspiration, dad and son. And then we have some seagulls. We have some of these cattails. And then just a little decorational piece there. All right, so I'm sticking this on my small block. I have a small scrap of paper here. I'm going to bring in my crumb cake ink, and I'm just looking. I only want, for the most part, the top of those cattails. It's not going to be exact, and it looks fine, not exact. So I'm just trying to get the top portion of that stamp. And close that up, and I'm going to bring in my Peaceful Pine and a blending brush. So I'm just gonna ink up a little bit of that blending brush and go around the bottom half of that stamp. And as I mentioned, it's not going to be exact, but it's going to look great. When you are doing two colors on a stamp, you want to start with the lightest color first. So if I happen to transfer a little bit of that crumb cake onto my green blending brush and then onto my ink, it's not a huge deal because it's nice and light. Just going to moisten that. I did get my green up a little bit high, so it got onto that one cattail, but I'm okay with that. And then I'm just going to quickly fussy cut this. There are dies that coordinate, they're add-on dies to go with the paper pumpkin. They're more of coordinating than, or I guess complementary, I guess would be the word. They don't cut out the images normally. I'll show them to you in 1 second here. Once I get this cut out. And I made a few of these in advance. We're going to need 3 of these little images. So I did cut 2 of them out already. While I'm cutting, I will mention there's a special going on right now until the end of May. If you sign up for our starter kit, you will get the 5 ink colors, the new ink pads, for free on top of what you normally get. So it's an extra $90 value. If you purchase them individually, they're $20 a piece, so it's actually $100. But if you bought all 5 together, it's $90 value. They give you a bit of a discount for buying all 5. There we go. But yeah, you can get all 5 of them for free with your demonstrator starter kit on top of what you would normally get. The other thing we are going to stamp, that I have a little label piece here. This was from the kit. Just cutting off those little tabs. We're going to stamp our greeting on here. And I am making a birthday card. Great masculine birthday card. So I am going to stamp older, wiser, better. And I'm going to stamp that in the Peaceful Pine. I love these new ink pads, actually. They're so much easier to open. Just want to make sure that my sentiment was straight. I don't want to go quite in the middle because I am going to trim off the end of this. So we're going to go right about there, a little closer to the right hand side than the left. All right, so let's start putting some of this together. We're going to pop this up with dimensionals. And you do get dimensionals in your kit with this paper pumpkin. Most of them actually come with dimensionals, but not all, most. Okay, so that is going to go on the right hand side, kind of in the middle, up and down wise. And then we are adding this little chair here. We may need to cut these. Let me see, I can bring this down closer. It looks like it's exactly the right size for that spot. So we don't want a dimensional there, but we will add one right here. And I think I will cut one of those in half. I'm going to add that to the side. And we're going to add just a little glue dot to this side. Take off those backings. You can put it straight, you can put it on a bit of an angle. I think we'll go straight. So then we have our little cattails. I'm going to add one up here. Where am I here? There we go. I'm just going to tuck it behind there. I've got 2 more. So I'm going to do one on each side. Oh, I'll tuck this one in, but I want to add my greeting before I put on my 3rd one. Kind of got my dimensional in the way there. There we go. So I'm just going to tuck it underneath. It's going to hang off a little bit, but I think it'll still fit in my envelope. And give it a little trim if not. All right, so we are going to put our greeting here. And I'm going to trim this off right flush with my chair leg. That's going to go there. I'm going to mark it with my pencil. so I know exactly where to cut. And I'm just going to use my scissors for that. You could use your trimmer if you wanted. Just like that. We're going to lay that down flat. Before I give that a good push, I'm going to add my cattails right behind there. And then we can really push that down. The other thing I'm going to add, so these are the little add-on dies. So these dies coordinate with a quarter, each quarter for the paper pumpkin. So January, February, March had a die set, and then April, May, June is this die set. So these will coordinate with those 3 paper pumpkins. So we have some little flowers, some butterflies. These are almost like fireworks. And then this is a little wooden sign. And then we have the word wonderful. You normally get like a label shape, which would be this square is the label shape, a word, and then some coordinating images. So I've went ahead and cut out the word wonderful with peaceful pine cardstock. Let's see if we can get it. There we go. And that is going to just sit right up top here like that. I've added some adhesive sheet to the back to make it a little bit easier, so I didn't need to use that liquid glue and end up with it everywhere. A little bit easier if you add it all in one piece, but I had some little tiny pieces to use up. There we go. Okay, so that is going to sit right there. And I'm just kind of being mindful to put the loop of the F in between the 2 words so it doesn't cover up any of my sentiment. Alrighty, so we're almost done. I'm going to add a little bow on here. My kitty, little stinker, got into my linen thread. So it's kind of a disaster. But that's okay. It's still going to work. He had fun with it. So I'm just tying that around my card front and then adding a little bow here to the front. There we go. Sometimes it's hard to do a bow on camera. That's not too bad. Just kind of tightening it up so it's not super loose on my card. And then I can move it around after I get it done up to go exactly where I want. There we go. So I have to cut a little bit of this off because he made a mess of it. And then I want to cut this one to be about the same length. There we go. So then I'll move it over to it. And those tails will add a little bit of interest to this side of my card. And then I'm going to add a few of these little embellishments. They kind of look like little pebbles from the stream. Again, take your pick tool. Works a little bit better for this. These ones just don't want to come off the backing very well. There we go. We'll add one here and one here. There we go. Oh, after I have finished my paper pumpkin, I will keep this. Will this fit? Sometimes it fits sorry, not that. Yeah, it fits exactly. So that's where I will keep my stamp set if I want to keep it. And this one I probably will, because sometimes it's hard to come across a Happy Father's Day. And then Stampin' Up! Used to put in a little paper that showed the stamps, so it's a little bit easier to see. So they've quit adding it separately, but they've added it to the back of the instructions, which I think is perfect because I'm gonna throw out these instructions when I'm all done anyway. So before I throw it out, I'll just trim off that little piece and tuck it in with my stamp set as well. And you pretty much always get one of these little bags in your paper pumpkin with some adhesive and embellishments in there. So once I'm all done with the kit, that will be my storage for my stamp set. My die set comes in a little plastic bag. All right, so I am going to add that little scrap. I was gonna see if I can find it. Here it is. I have an inside piece, and I know I've mentioned this many times before. A lot of people, when you just use white, will just put your sentiment right on here, and that's absolutely fine. You can absolutely do that. I like to add another one because it adds a little bit more sturdiness to the card and makes it not as front heavy. So I have added another piece here, and as I mentioned, I am making this into a birthday card. So, oh, I need to just clean off my stamps here because I need a block. Stick that one back on here, and then we'll grab Happy Birthday. And what's the other one say? You are an inspiration. Could put you are an inspiration. Happy birthday. We could do that. Yeah, I'll put on Happy Birthday first, and then we'll add on that. You are an inspiration. Okay, so we're gonna put that there. Back on there, and there it is there. You are an inspiration. Hopefully we can get this straight. When you stamp, you just want to give it a few seconds for all that ink to transfer onto your paper. And then we are going to adhere this little stripe down. And then cut off a little bit of extra. And we will adhere that to the inside of our card. You could stamp some of those cattails in there too if you wanted. There we go. There's our card. This is a great set. I absolutely loved it. And if you like this paper pumpkin and you're kind of bummed out that you didn't get it, the that Waterside Suite, Waterside Retreat Suite from in the catalog is very similar. It has a lot of the same imagery in the paper. I'll just bring in that one card part. Like that's the exact same image. And this is the same as one of the card fronts. And I think this is in there too, I believe. So it is very similar. If you are wishing you hadn't missed out on this paper pumpkin, we have some options for you. Alrighty, so thanks so much for joining me. And until next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye.